Well, good morning. I have missed you all so much. Woo, last week was crazy. Tornadoes. I can't even, obvious things that were going on, but we're back. We're back in full effect. Tell you what, I was kind of in and out of sleep the other night, and I'm like, all right, let's see what's on the tube. And I happened to start seeing all this stuff about this lawsuit, but it's several. Now, we mentioned it a few weeks ago, but I didn't think for a second it would continue, you know? No way. I did not think for a second it would continue. Never crossed my mind. I thought it was just kind of a YouTube theater type of thing. Well, it's little more than that. I really don't understand what is going on with Ziggy, and I do understand some of you really enjoy watching Ziggy. Fine by me. Everyone has what they like to watch. Some of you might be friends with her. Fine by me. I personally do not know her, so I'm only talking about the situation as I see it. I don't understand why Six Up would be sued, Nana's Angels, or Ryan. But things have been weird over there for a while on her channel. There was talk of her and Fred adopting Josie. They wouldn't have a snowball's chance in Haiti of doing that. That's crazy. That's crazy. The drug test, that was nuts. Yeah, the drug test was nuts. And now, like Oprah, everyone gets a lawsuit. You know how Oprah used to go, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Now we got Ziggy going, you get sued, you get sued, you get sued, you get sued. I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. And I'm like, what are you taking? What are you, well then be part of the solution. Don't be part of the problem. It's going to be a real problem for her when this backfires. Crescent Moon, you better be careful. She will go after you next, in my opinion. This is just total reaction, but if she wants to, she can. That's a free country, you know? Well, let's go ahead and tell everybody good morning. Debbie said it doesn't cost money to sue people. Do you live in the United States? Just curious, because I know some people are in other countries that cost nothing. It does cost something here, even if it's just small claims court. And she's been raising money, like, you know, her people are sending her money in order to file these suits. And if this is all just to get traffic to her channel, then I feel really bad for those people for getting duped like that, for parting with their money to help her channel. That is not cool. I mean, not cool at all. And I have to apologize for playing the wrong song at the beginning. That implies we're here to talk about summer. Oh, I'm sorry, Debbie. She said at Brooks. I said, it does cost money to sue. Thank you. I totally misread that. Ooh, I am so stupid. I tell you what, I barely remember how to do this. Bear with me. I'm like a virgin on prom night. So she has raised money and she has filed these suits. Let's start with the Zigsters page. Okay. This was 15 hours ago. She said, court update! Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. 4 different certified mailings of service with return receipt sent to defendant. Multiple are necessary due to her transient living situation, which means she could be in one of several places. Well, at this point, she's only suing 2 people, and that is Six Up and Ryan. Ryan is not a her. And I don't believe Six Up is a transient. And if she was, why would you sue her? Why would you spend one red cent to sue someone that's homeless? I don't think she's homeless at all. That's a dangerous thing to put out there. All right, so here is, see if I can open it up. All right. Anyway, so it shows the job number, job name. It's not cropped correctly and it won't expand. Okay, so County of Shelby, that's where she lives. All right, so she's got a lot of stuff marked out. That's fine. Let me see if I can read that. I got to get real close to read this. Asking for the cost of monetary relief for income. What? For income lost due to defendant's conduct. The plaintiff is also asking for the court to order an injunction to demand you cease monetizing the plaintiff, please. How can any court tell her what she can and can't make money off of? What is going on here? I think Ryan, she's suing for $10,000. Okay, I should have printed this out. State of Indiana, County of Shelby, plaintiff, defendant. You know, she could have left her name at least. Complainant for damages, civil harassment. Well, civil isn't criminal, so okay. This is delusional. Representing herself pro se. Ziggy's representing herself pro se. Oh my goodness. States the following for her complaint against defendant. I'll just say Six Up. Plaintiff resides, defendant resides, venue is preferred in Shelby County. I mean, Six Up doesn't have to do that. I can tell you right now. Someone sues you, you can say, look, I'm being sued. And if I got to cough up 10 grand, no way I can travel there, be in a hotel and everything like that. She wants the money. You got to move it over here. I've heard it being done before. Okay, there it says USPS certified mail. At least I can read that. All right, let's get to the next one because she has a lot going on. I'm telling you. All right, she's doing readings on TikTok. She says, update for small claims against the defendant. Court is next month, May 19th, and the defendant is still avoiding filing her appearance, which I'm going to assume just out of, using deduction of elimination, since she's been talking about two people, as in Ryan finds truth and 6-up. When she says her, she's talking about 6-up. So she says, update for small claims against the defendant. Court is next month, May 19th, and the defendant is still avoiding filing her appearance into the small claims defamation harassment lawsuit. For someone who doesn't fold under pressure, she sure as heck is avoiding addressing it through the courts and refusing to file her appearance. The defendant is live now, spending hours harassing me and threatening us with lies and using Fred's probation to try and scare us, and claiming she isn't folding, but she cannot take the time to update the courts on her appearance. Someone so confident and sure of herself would be doing that. So I'm sure, since she is sure of herself, there's a lot of sures going on. Gosh, it's hard. It's like a tongue twister. All right. So where'd I go? So I'm sure she's so sure of herself, she'll be doing this filing today and not avoiding service like she did the last time for the protective order. So you've done this before. You had a protective order against her. Why? Why? Had she been to your house? Did she threaten you? I have never heard anything like this. The defendant is very aware of court coming up. She's live claiming she is not folding on court. So then we should be confident in her appearance on May 19th. I wouldn't worry about it. If she said she's going to be there, she'll be there. That's it. If she said she's going to be there, she'll be there. It gives you one less thing to worry about. Okay, so again, here's another court document. Okay, this guy, Ryan, has made a beeline on myself and especially Fred since the summer of 2023, while at the same time being Andy Bernard's biggest cheerleader. Because everyone's getting tired of the whole Andy was on the road. Andy was on the road. Andy was on the road. I was on the road today. If a child goes missing in my area, guess what? I have nothing to do with it. Even if I know the child, I've got nothing to do with it. Make it make sense. As shown in this video by Electronic Medium down below, he has gone as far as harassing the people who support me and participate in my chats. He wants to completely discredit us and no one to believe anything Fred is saying. And that is because he is helping hide criminal activity, in my opinion. All right, so if you say in your opinion, that's one thing. But this makes no sense. He's a married man. He has children. He's active in his community. He has a channel that talks about a lot of stuff, not just Summer Wells. And you're saying he's helping hide criminal activity. Ryan also been buying likes, views, and comments to try to help spread this agenda. And I believe wholeheartedly he is also behind a lot of the AI channels that just started magically popping up around the time he came into this community. I promise you guys, this guy is something much bigger than you see at the surface. And that something is, in my opinion, some kind of ring that is hiding criminal activities in the Creek area. The area where Summer Wells disappeared. Yeah, we know where that is. Just pay attention to the ones he is surrounding himself with that appear to be attaching themselves to him. 90% of them are active addiction and have very shady pasts. They have said that. Everybody he has interviewed has said what all they've got going on currently and in the past. Okay? For a reminder, Fred turned important information on Cotton Simpson to Ellie in the summer of 2023 because of Cotton's suspicious comments pertaining to Summer Wells. All right, let's talk. I mean, there's really no more reason to go through this. Let's look at this, okay? Because her thing is, Andy did it. Andy was on the road. I mean, stuff like that all the time. This is when Andy called John Pruitt, okay?
Yeah, I was just trying to get a hold of Detective Pruitt. I was trying to find out a couple of things about something.
Hold on just a minute.
Thank you.
Everything we have heard from her from the first time she met Fred, which I think was in 2021, correct me if I'm wrong, has been Fred said, Fred said, Fred said, Fred said. Other people who know Fred, other people who have lived in that area that were around the day Summer went missing, they heard everyone talking, they could hear their scanners or however it's done, are saying now, he's full of it, man. He is full of it. And as far as that Cotton Simpson thing, let me refresh your memories, okay? Let me refresh them. They said, as in law enforcement, not Fred, that when he was in the clink, he was saying things about the murder of Cotton Simpson that only somebody that is involved would know. Okay? That's the reason they gave him a polygraph. But now we're painting him as if he is a Boy Scout. And while he was in jail, he decided to turn over this much pertinent information about Summer Wells, who at that time had been missing for 2 years. Does this make any sense at all? Does it? Does it?
Detective Pruitt.
Yes, sir. How you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
All right. My name's George Bernard, Andy Bernard. I live at 125 Ben Hill Road. I was just trying to figure out some information, maybe, possibly.
What about?
Well, okay, for 3 years, I've been wrapped up in the middle of the Summer Wells case. For a while now, Fred, my cousin, has been saying that I was on the road that day. Nobody else has questioned me after I left my residence, when I separated from my
You're cutting in and out, sir. I can't hear half of what you're saying.
Can you hear me better now?
A little bit.
Okay. I left my residence, didn't go back till September. I went through a separation in the process. I mean, I was just wondering, I was just trying to figure out if there was anything I could do, needed to do. Do you need to talk to me, see me? Uh, I
No,
mean,
sir.
was I on? What?
Unless concrete leads come up.
Right there. No, sir. No. Matter of fact, you're wasting my time with this phone call. Listen, guilty people don't call the lead detective and go, my cousin Fred has been doing this. Do you need to talk to me? Nope. Don't. We have nothing to talk to you about. Okay? Now, some people want to paint it a different way and they're going to say, because the police lie to you all the time. Hold on. Their job is to catch criminals, arrest criminals, and get them convicted. Gavel down. So if you have someone that could possibly be involved in Summerwell's disappearance, and they call you and you go, nah, I'm good. No, I don't need to talk to you. I don't need to talk to you.
That we can sort of verify the direction it's headed. We're just accepting concrete leads, and your name has not come up.
Okay. Well,
That, and I wouldn't put too much faith in what Fred Hill is saying.
well, I kind of knew that for the rip, but for 3 years, this has kind of been affecting me for 3 years.
I understand, sir, but like I said, your name is not relevant to the investigation, so you don't have anything to be concerned about.
Okay, I've never been impressed with this police, but you can't take anything away from the FBI and the TBI who are also involved. He just said, your name is not relevant to this investigation. Take it how you want. Take it how you want. As stupid as they are there, in my opinion, they have arrested other people. They have solved other crimes. I mean, the show has gone on. Something is weird. Okay, that's the only way you can put it. Sounds like a third grader talking. Something is weird with Summers' case. He just flat out told him, your name is not relevant in this case. I would be done right there. I'm telling you, I'd be done.
Relevant to the investigation, so you don't have anything to be concerned about.
Okay, I greatly appreciate that. That eases my mind a lot, and I greatly appreciate you, sir.
Have a good day.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Oh my goodness. We're talking about the disappearance of a little girl. Okay? Now, next month, I don't know when the election is, but Hawkins County elects a new sheriff. And I really hope, after they have the welcome lunch and he sees his desk and gets to meet everybody, he says, where is the Summerwells case? Okay, where is the Summerwells case? And I have a feeling quite a few people around Hawkins County, around East Tennessee, will be leaving messages for Hawkins County Sheriff to tell them that Dawn and Candace, it was founded that they essayed their 3 boys, and Ronnie Lawson never sent it to the DA to prosecute. Ronnie Lawson said it was to protect the boys. The boys are protected. They are protected. They're not going to do anything to them. They're not going to do anything. Nothing. Okay, so now we get to Ryan. All right, this is from his page. Ryan finds truth. This was a day ago. Well, we finally had enough. Taking the first step most likely won't work considering this person is a psychotic narcissist. So we're already working on step 2. Client information, it's got his name, email, phone, street address. For obvious reasons, things are taken out. It says a YouTuber has been constantly posting defamatory things about my wife and I. We also are creators. For years, we've ignored. She recently took down all of her content. She did. A lot of people were talking that. I heard a lot of buzz on the streets. She took a lot of stuff down. I don't know. I'm tired of her defaming us constantly and want to send a cease and desist. This is the post. Okay, he puts the post up. He says, she says I'm helping hide criminal activity. She says I'm buying likes, views, and comments. That is so laughable. I mean, it really is. It really is. She says, I'm behind AI channels. He might use AI to make his thumbnails, but that's crazy. The man has a full-time job. He's got stuff going on. You think he's really sitting at home screwing around with AI? She says I'm part of some kind of ring that is hiding criminal activities in the Creek area, the area where Summer Wells disappeared. She claims I'm making a man named Bill Shipley message her and trying to intimidate her. She claims my child was proudly supporting the Satanic Temple of East Tennessee on Facebook. What is this all about? Okay. Then we get to 6 up. She really wants her. She really, really does. And now that I know that there was a protective order before, okay, now that I know there was a protective order before, this stinks, okay? This stinks. Don't think that Ziggy wouldn't take the 10 grand if it was granted to her. I didn't know that you could get 10,000 from small claims. Like, I had no idea. None. I thought there was only a certain amount you could get, but I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not versed on these things. Okay, she said, it's my belief that you are a degenerate pig. I'm allowed to have my opinion. Alrighty then. And we get to the comments. They're great. Tragedy Pimps Exposed said it's not defamation when it's factual. Cupcakes, she's off to a different scam. Got money for copyright. Now she wants more. Of course, not for the same one she started. It's a new day and a new scam. Keep going, Zig. You've already screwed yourself. Ooh, it's my opinion Ziggy is possessed. That's a good one. Yeah, it's not defamatory. This one, the fixation on you and Ryan is not natural at all. I do wish for her own sake she would get some help working through the root cause, but there's no evidence supporting she will do anything with any money she gets, but slurp it all down and use it all up for herself and the one dog she gives an F about. That is also not what a healthy adult would do. In my own effing opinion, using my constitutional right, just like 6 Up and Ryan do, she's a jackass. Have a nice day. That's what that lady said. All right. So, my understanding where Ryan filed his paperwork is like in the big boys court. It's not small claims. Like small claims is if, I'm just going to give an example. It's used for a ton of different stuff. Let's say I'm at the Quick Trip and somebody dings my bumper. Okay. And they don't have auto insurance. Well, I don't want to use my auto insurance because we all know insurance goes up when you use it. I can take said person to small claims court and they'll be ordered to pay for the bumper. Kind of stuff like that. All right, so the other night, Ryan had 6 Up on his show. We're not going to listen to the whole thing, but you can see it on his. Is that really 6 Up? Does anyone know? Can you guys see the screen? She's really pretty.
Thank you.
A lot of people don't understand it until it actually happens to them.
Right.
They can say, I sympathize, whatever, but to really empathize with somebody, you have to have it happen to you. And I've seen it again and again. Yeah, unfortunately. And this is something that, continues to happen, but something that I just realized that happened like this week. It's been a really long week for me.
Oh, I'm kind of in awe. She's very pretty. I don't even care if it's a filtered picture. I don't even care how ugly you are. You can tell when someone's ugly and they filter a picture. I mean, you can tell. Okay? You can tell. So she's already put a protective order against 6 Up. Didn't work. Now she's suing her. She's saying she's a transient. And so it's going to take some time to do this, is what she's saying. Ryan, I believe she's wanting $10,000 from. But she's the one saying all these things about him. He's just been interviewing people around Beach Creek. And of course, they bring up Fred. Okay? They bring up Fred.
And coming up, like me and Ryan have been talking, and he sent me, a little intro he did. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I don't want people to think this is a hate bond, for one.
Right.
I told Ryan that before. I also don't want people to think like, the hate bond thing, but I don't want people to think that this is about, it's not about the case. This is not about the case. This is something happening inside, like Ryan said just now, inside of these cases. And Ryan, you described it really well, like how it all started. And I just want to let everybody know, I told Ryan before I got here, we're kind of winging it.
Yeah.
Sometimes that works out.
I'm glad to be here. I do have, a couple things that I have. TPE sent me a list of, we have a real life list that we made a couple years ago, actually, like 3 years ago. And it's not been a real life list for Ziggy, just for Ziggy.
What is that?
It's just a list of times that Ziggy went real life, not just on me, but anyone she went real life on. TPE made this list years ago. She hasn't even updated it. And when you guys start hearing me, if I get to the point where I read through or show some of this list, you're going to be flabbergasted when you realize that the last couple of years haven't even been added on yet.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. We've heard from people who said, I got attacked so bad on YouTube, in this case in particular, someone's case, that they just shut their channel down and they're like, I want nothing to do with it. And I don't know if they may be on your list.
I will never understand anyone that shuts down their channel because they get their fifis hurt when they're talking about a missing little girl. Like, I don't get it. Do you think Nana for Life doesn't put flyers out because Ziggy says horrible things about her and Ziggy's threatening to sue her? No. It makes her work harder. I'm not going to feel sorry for those people. Oh, it's just been so bad on me. All of these attacks. I just can't do it. You mean you just can't pay the $60 a month in StreamYard? Tell the truth. Or the real you has been exposed and you don't want to own up for it.
honestly. I think most of them are probably are on the list.
Well, to tell you the truth, there's a lot of things that we don't even put on the list because it would be harmful to the victims. And to be go even further than that, like when you were playing that intro you made, which was beautiful, by the way, I thank you for that. But I don't like to look at myself as a victim of her. I hate it. I don't want to give her that. I don't want her to. But unfortunately, I am a victim of hers. And she has a long list of victims. And the reason why I continue to do what I do is because of that list of victims keeps getting longer and longer. And I would like to get to the point where there was no more list. That's it. No more list.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
So to tell the story, it's always good when you tell a story. There's a beginning, there's a middle, and an end.
Okay, this is what I really want to hear. What brought her to YouTube to talk about Ziggy? Okay. That's what I've always wondered. Didn't really think to like search it out too much. I figured it would pop up somewhere. Okay. Didn't really feel like it was my place to reach out to someone I don't know about something that, well, not really my business, even though, I've done it before. So that's what I've always want to know. And Jananka, thank you for the super sticker. And thank you for that beautiful message. You have no idea what that means to me. Thank you very much.
And the beginning is easy, right? Because that's your beginning. That's how you got started. And I don't even know how you got involved. Was it related to the Summer Wells case? Was it just you found the channel? Like, how did that happen? How did you cross paths with her?
I had already been on YouTube. I had everybody that's on YouTube. If you are a chatter, you create a channel, right? So I had created a channel at that point, and I had it in my mind that I was going to be a person that audited the police. Actually, my name was Six Up Audit. So I already had it in my head that I wanted to create a channel.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, that's wild.
Six Up Audits. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I was already watched. I was, especially missing children. Since around the time of Madeline McCann, I was pregnant with my young.
I don't know if this is true. Oh, I guess it is. Because I had heard that Six Up used to be a mod for the Zigster in the very beginning of Summer's case. So I'm assuming something happened. Something came out. Because do you guys remember the 7K Venmo credit card scam? I believe she's the one that brought it out, and then the Circle Jerks formed their own channel. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they started exposing. How she paid that off, I will never know. Good morning, Aggie.
My son at that point, since around that case, I had focused a lot on children. In my, I'm saying like when I would watch things, when I would get into cases, it was mostly children, and it was mostly children online. And hold on, I got a dog barking, but Adam Walsh too. Adam Walsh, his case, I felt like was exploited, and I noticed that at a very young age, and I didn't like it. I didn't like all the things that people were doing online to exploit. 1 second. Sorry, she's the deaf one. If she hears,
I'm sure Moon will chime in eventually.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how I found her. I was just on YouTube watching a bunch of different channels that are in this sector to this day. And she came into my algorithm. I'm pretty sure that it was the specific creator. I won't mention his name, but it's one that had shared her first live. And I headed over, of course, like everybody else, to get all the news about how Don and Candace were horrible, right? And they were bad and all the things. And I right away had a parasocial relationship with Ziggy. She did a thing where
Jean, thank you so much for the super sticker. That really means a lot to me. You guys are making me You're making me tear up. Thank you so much. You guys are true blue. Sec to no one said, yes, that was awful what Ziggy did. That poor woman suffered financially, and circle jerks were on her like stink on poo-poo. Yeah, and I've heard somebody in here, I don't know who said it, said one of her followers paid that $7,000. What? What? That's not being a friend. I'm sorry, it's not. If I heard correctly, she was being investigated by LE there in Indiana. Okay, so that might be why she started reaching out to people that she knows have a little bit of green, a little bit of lettuce in their bank. Must be kidding me. All right, so I agree with Six Up. Yeah, talking about Don and Candace being horrible, horrible people. They are. Now, one thing we all need to remember, I'm not going to tear Six Up for this, and I'm not going to tear Ryan for this because they're simply defending themselves as they should, okay? As they simply should. Ziggy's main focus on YouTube anyway, is the Summer case. It is. So you want to sue somebody, sue them. But don't do it on the back of Summer Wells. No. No. That's a bad look. But you know, some people, it's kind of like, well, it's kind of like the people that can't look away from a car wreck, which I guess would be me as well. And so she understands the drama factor.
She said that when she first started her channel that she wanted to do things for people in addiction, which touched me because I'm somebody who's in recovery, who's been a peer support counselor. And she was saying all these things and also saying that she was very bad at being friends with females. And I thought, wow, well, I'm working on that in my recovery. I have resentments against females too. So I'll reach out to her and I'll give her an email and I'll say, hey, I'm going through this too. Maybe we can be friends. I can moderate for your channel, you know, help you out. I know you're going down there, getting ready to go down there because she had been planning to. And that's how it began. And then the Tennessee trip is what was the reason. Everything that happened in the Tennessee trip, the first trip, was the reason that I was done.
Did you meet her on the Tennessee trip?
No.
Okay.
No, I was moderator for her channel, and Heels on the Ground, which is a group of other creators who exploit children as well. We're all going down there. And I had already started watching other call-out channels that are like mine now. So I was watching these call-out channels call out Heels on the Ground, and I was like, I don't want Ziggy to be like them, right? Don't want that to happen. We don't want her to turn into a child exploiter. That would be bad, right? So I started interacting with her, you know, talking with her about that and about how this upcoming trip, you know, that's what it was all about. She was going on the trip. I offered her camera equipment, said, when you go there, you should go to the sheriff's department and see if you can talk to the sheriff, all the things. And then when she got down there, what had happened was she lied to her moderators and her subscribers and told them that she did the first thing that happened is she went and met with Don and Candace and got a puppy that was too little to be taken, in my opinion. And I am a big fur baby lover. And I was like, oh no.
Oh, I forgot about that when she got the puppy from Don and Candace. Why? I will never know. Wasn't it like only like 2, 3, 4 weeks? They need to be at least 6. A lot of people were having a shit fit about that. Okay, I remember that now. Wow. Tell you what, there's been a lot that's gone on in this over 4.5 years.
Oh no. and she's lying, right? And she named the baby Athena Moon. And I was like, oh, and it just sent me over the, I was already, you know, in my head, I was already done.
By the way, the link is pinned at the top. You can see it. It's highlighted, Crime Lines and Lies, and then in blue, there is the link if you want to come up and give your thoughts on this.
So 6 up devil's advocate. I'm going to try to do that tonight. It's really hard for me, but I'm just going to play devil's advocate. If she did want to like save this puppy, what's the problem with it? Like, what is the bad part?
The puppy wasn't the problem. The puppy was not the problem. The problem was that she was willing to lie to people who were supporting her financially, supporting her by doing all the things for her, because Ziggy doesn't do anything. Okay.
What was the lie?
Moderators.
What was the lie in that particular case?
Well, she lied about, she lied first and said she didn't have the puppy, and she did.
Oh, she lied about having the puppy to begin with.
We could all hear the puppy in the background. Okay. So that we were already starting to have an issue. And that night she went on another creator's channel, and I had messaged her and told her about another large creator, Chasing Truth, who had posted something. And I just sent her that link and said, hey, Chasing Truth is saying this and this and this about you right now. You're getting some heat. Maybe you should, you know. And before I could even finish, she was screaming at me through the microphone, telling me, don't fucking send me shit. Blah, 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 blah. And I said, no person is going to talk to me in that way, especially if you have lied to me.
Was that a private? That was in a private conversation?
No, this was on a public live stream. She attacked me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
she did that. She did that to us at the end in with text message, but she likes to do voice instead of texting. So when we had our disagreement, it was private. It was a private text message, and I was revealing that I had talked to Andy's boss and what he told me. And when I told her that, she lost her shit. Like I had six.
Believe it or not, hang on, I got something in my throat. You know, I hate that when I'm taking a drink. And by the way, my coffee is really weak today. Way too weak. I really messed that up. And I'm talking, it goes down the wrong pipe. Ugh. 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 But many people have called Andy's work. I can't even tell you how many. And they have all said, his time card was given to the TBI. They know what time he got here, what time he left, and where he had lunch. But she keeps saying, Fred said he was on the road. We already heard Pruitt say, you're not relevant to this investigation. I know some people don't buy it, and that's fine. You don't have to. But we want the evidence. We want the evidence. This is about a missing little girl.
6 messages in a row that were all voice messages, similar to what you described. Screaming.
There was so much. And this happened in a very short period of time. She was only in Tennessee for a couple of days. She was lying when the bone situation happened. Like, she'll lie to this day and say that people didn't know she was coming. Yes, they did. Everybody knew. The whole internet knew she was going. We knew for weeks before she went. And when she got there, she went live from Warrior State Park right there. And everybody knew she was there. And I tried to tell her, you're embarrassing yourself with the bones. That guy knew. You know, I didn't know anything about Fred at this point, but I knew that he was a liar, because there's no way that that man didn't know that those were not human remains. You know what I mean? And it was ridiculous to me. But I was even willing to, you know, it was just a compilation of all the things at one time. So the day after, I think it was after she got home, I went live on my own channel, and the rest is history. Here we are.
But before that, so the build-up, though, I mean, you guys, how much time had you been a mod with her?
Maybe 2 months. She didn't have a channel that long. We got to think. She started her channel. Yeah, it wasn't very long. She started. We were only acquaintances. I was probably only a mod, to be honest.
Don't even get me going on the bones. Please. She said her and Fred came across some bones. You could clearly see they weren't human bones, and I'm no forensic anthropologist. None. So these shenanigans have gone on for a very long time. And I think this is another one. Okay?
Maybe a month.
So you caught on pretty darn quick then.
Real quick. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's another reason why she hates me.
Oh my gosh. So in that time though, so I'm sorry, chasing is like, really? Chasing Ziggy loves you? I didn't know that. The thing is though, Six Up, she figured out enough about you in that time frame to try to cause as much damage as possible. How did she learn that information about you?
Well, she didn't learn anything.
Okay.
What she did was, I mean, she probably did, look on Facebook, because that's how she researched.
Y'all, my friends, I have to LOL at this comment from what's her name. If you've ever had a rotisserie chicken, you'd recognize those bones. You must be kidding me. She knew she was going to be called out and she didn't care. She did a live and she was like crying intensely. Then Benny did a reaction live making fun of her. And then for the millionth time, and she's done it recently, she called his probation officer. Why? That is hilarious.
She found one of my ex's old Facebooks. I didn't even have a Facebook. She had a moderator and his name was Levin. He's still around, not a good guy. Watch out for him. But he admitted to me later that he was one of the ones, and there was a couple others that she was asking to dig for my information, pull my records, get my mugshots. She wasn't, by the way, when she finally did do her doxing on me, which was very shortly after I started my channel, she did it on the same channel that she screamed at me on. It was a 4-hour session of going through, showing me and my ex's mugshots, saying how we look like crackheads, showing where my ex's parents owned property, showing where my mother owned property, showing places that I worked, showing places that my mom, I don't even remember, you guys. There was so much stuff in that live stream. And of course it immediately got deleted, but I've got that too, unfortunately.
So that was supposed to be the tear down expose she did on you.
Yeah. Well, I was getting ready. Like you said in the beginning, when I started my channel, I had already started it, wasn't really doing anything on it, uploaded a couple of shorts of Bullhorn Betty and Molly Go Lightly at that point. That was it. I had no plans to become a monetized channel. But as soon as she seen that I was gaining traction and I had 980 subscribers and was live about to monetize, she went live on her friend's channel, doxed me out, told that my current partner was in prison,
which is no one's business, and who is monetized and not monetized is also no one's business. This is America, and we are allowed to use capitalism. Okay, people can get mad at me all they want. I'm not paying out of my pocket for this. I'm not. Sorry. Call me selfish. I'm not JD Rockefeller. I'm not paying for it out of my pocket. Okay? If I was financially set in that way, yeah, I would, but I can't. And Six Up should have monetized, and she did. As you saw in one of the filings, Ziggy said she does not want her to be monetized anymore. Are you serious? So it's really not a about 6 up talking about her, she probably enjoys that because it gives her some content, you know, some back and forth, some back and forth, some back and forth. She might have gotten wind somewhere that, you know, maybe 6 up had a good month. You know, she might have gotten a little extra money or something. I don't know. And things like that really bug her because she specifically said she wants the court to make it where she cannot monetize her channel. No way they can do that. Why?
And a bunch of, you know, everything that she could find, every single thing. And then most of it was made up, by the way, because that's what she does. She just
I was
makes
going
it
to
up.
say, and everything
Yeah.
that she could lie about, because like I said, that, you know.
Yeah, she took the online, in your case, she took anything she could find on Facebook, mugshots, whatever. How much of that she exposed about you was truth versus just completely fabricated?
She showed a couple. I think she showed one charge that was actually a charge I had, which was a Cincinnati, Ohio charge for possession of an open flask with it, which is open container, the most petty crime that you can have. She never showed my felony. She only showed mugshots. And mugshots are taken anytime you go to jail. It doesn't mean you got charged. Doesn't mean you can get moved from jail to jail, which I did a lot because I would owe a fine and they would transfer me. They take your mugshot every time you go to a new jail. So she was presenting, and she still does to this day. She tells people that I had like 80 mugshots. I don't know how many I had, maybe 5. And she acts like, you know, I had 50 mugshots and I am the predator of all predators. She tells everybody that I have violent crimes, which I don't. I've never had a victim. I don't have one victim crime. All of my crimes are nonviolent. Yeah, that's pretty much how she, you know how she does.
Was it like a switch that flipped? Was it one moment? Because I think you kind of touched on it earlier. Was there a turning point? Was there one moment where you guys are friends, you guys were getting along, and then the next thing you know, she's just doxing you and attacking you? Or was
I
it
don't
just
even, well, I want to say, I think that I was trying to be her friend.
You and many others. Good morning, Mirror Camp. I cannot stand when people's criminal history comes up. You know, public intox, like she said, the open flask. You know, these things were a long time ago. Ziggy is talking about. Okay, she doesn't exactly led a clean life. I'm not saying any of us have. Now, if you're talking about a suspect in a crime, a person of interest, someone that's involved, bring it all out. Talk about it. Go for it. The only time a creator's record interests me is when we find out that they're a ped. That really gets me going.
We weren't friends. Ziggy doesn't have friends. Okay. So we were not friends. We were acquaintances. I was a moderator for her channel. I had just started texting her a couple weeks before, and, you know, supporting her in the way that I would give her a super chat. I was a member. I would you can go back to her first live streams before she got to Tennessee and all the way up to the Warriors Path Live. I am in that chat saying and defending her all the way up till that day, because I knew that she was I knew after the bones, I knew after the dog, I knew after everything that she was an exploiter and a fucking liar. She was a liar, and in the worst of it all, she didn't care about going down there and getting real content but that people valued or wanted, you know, for a true crime channel. She wanted the drama. She wanted the 1,200 people in her live chat, you know, sitting there talking about Summer and her brothers being sex trafficked. That's what she wanted. And I seen it. And once I seen it, I couldn't unsee it.
Right.
And you hear a lot of people will say that to me after, like, they'll be like, oh my God. So it's like, once you see it, you can't unsee it. So unfortunately, it takes some people a little longer.
The bones was probably, it sounds like the bones was the moment where you were like, okay, this is BS. that was your flipping.
It was, yeah. All of it together, the whole thing, and the fact that she wanted to go down there and talk to Fred. And I'm like,
yeah, she wanted to go down there and talk to Fred. I'm gonna say most people would say I'm on Ben Hill Road, came across some bones, don't know where they are. Police come out and they're gonna say those are chicken bones. Okay. Then maybe mention on your live, I'm so stupid. I was walking around and I saw some bones. I called the police and I feel like such a knucklehead. They turned out to be rotisserie chicken bones.
why do you want to go talk to Fred? Who the hell cares? And she kept mixing up his name, calling him Frank. And I kept thinking, she doesn't even know who he is. You know what I mean?
I was curious about that because that was so. I mean, interviewing locals is a good way to investigate. Was she at the time thinking that? What was her opinion on Fred before she met him? That he was involved?
You want to give my opinion? You want my opinion on what I think?
You know,
I think she thought he was guilty. I think
Yeah.
she thought that he was that is who Don went to day of, right?
Yeah.
This guy is nobody's talked to him. He's the meth.
Interesting. Nana said Fred set her up with the bones. So they've been, no pun intended, partners in crime for a while.
Dealer, what I just think that she really thought he was guilty. If you go back, and I have recently again to go listen to her live streams back then, he was outside of Don and Candace, he was the number one suspect, and she wanted to be the first one to talk to him.
Mm-hmm. No
Real
surprise.
Rockin' Robin says at some point she called him a
Pedo.
pedo.
Mm-hmm. She also said that he was in the KKK.
I heard that. Yeah. So what about if you don't mind talking about it, you don't have to give details, but I mean, she went when she realized you had woken up and you were not on her side anymore. She went vicious. She went real life.
She went vicious. She went real life right away. Yeah.
The two things you had mentioned that I caught that hit me the hardest was your job and even your friends. Do you mind sharing what that was all about?
Well, I haven't, the job thing, what's affected me more than anything that has came out of what Ziggy has done to me. There's two things. The one is filing the police report and the protect.
I'm curious. Dunk Pie, is that how you say it? She said these two are obsessed. You mean Ryan and Six Up? Well, I mean, I guess you could look at it that way. I'm curious where you come to that conclusion. Because she's on them daily and she's suing them and she's putting up the court docs. She tried to file a protective order against someone that doesn't even live in her state. Of course, that went over like a fart in church. So I think they're really just trying to defend themselves. Nobody wants to be sued.
An order against me. And then also, when I was a victim of real crime, a real domestic violence victim, using that on her platform to attack me and using my ex. Those are the two biggest things for me personally, and also bringing my minor child, who at the time was minor, he's not anymore, but at the time where I'm in fear of my life, you are on your platform saying that you have texts from my child that never existed, by the way. She said some of the most awful things that I've ever, and was cheering about me. I mean, let's just say it. She was cheering because she knew I got my ass beat.
Wait,
she was
so
dancing around.
While you are going through the situation,
yes,
situation, She's
Yes.
talking about it live.
Absolutely. She had him on there, Ryan.
Oh my
She had him.
goodness.
He got violated. Part of his he got violated, by the way, 4 times. And one of the times that he was violated was because he was on her platform and also calling her phone and talking about me from the jail.
He was essentially harassing you even further online through her.
Yes.
He was
Yes,
attacking you through her.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep. She's listed in that protection.
Fred the newlywed, got in big trouble when he spoke to the Zigster from jail and it was posted live online. That was a big no.
Order. She wants it really bad. She'll never get it, but she's in it because the part of the violation was him being on this platform through, going through her to harass me. And absolutely she did. I mean, she has for how long has it been? It's 2026.
Yes.
4 years, over 4 years.
And the modus operandi of her is calling people's jobs. Did she do that to you too?
Well, I work DoorDash, so
Okay.
I mean, she really, and also I have another job that she will never know anything about. Like, I don't tell her, so I don't talk about it.
LinkedIn. You don't have that on LinkedIn or anything. She'll find whatever.
I have my security job on LinkedIn, but I mean, she's not ever going to show that, Ryan, because that would show that I actually had a job, wouldn't it?
Right. Oh.
Right. You think that Ziggy could show a job that she went to that she had to be checked through Homeland Security and work in a lab? I don't think so.
Yeah.
With a badge? Nah.
I want to talk a little bit about the technique that creators use, toxic creators use.
Here's an interesting scenario. Since she showed so much interest in Fred, are we sure he wasn't pushed by other family to pursue her to keep any info protected by marriage? Woo! Woo! Woo!
On their users, on their moderators. Before we go there, though, is there anything else on that you want to cover, and we can take as long as you want, on how she went real life on you? Any other areas that you I want you to be able to talk about it, so it's up to you.
Well, I mean, I just wanted, for me, like I said, the things that affect me the most, and I think that go too far on anything online. Like I'm a firm believer in the First Amendment. I say some things that a lot of people don't want to hear. Okay. So if Ziggy were to say things that just, maybe offend most people, they wouldn't offend me. Okay. They wouldn't bother me. They don't. Typically they're not true anyway. Right. But when you, like Jen just said, when Jen was up here talking about her daughter, and I'm not minimizing what happened to you in any way. And I want to just say that. No. When I go forward and say what I'm about to say, this woman has come for my children, and specifically came for my minor son in a way that she shouldn't have any supporters, in my opinion, and she absolutely should have a platform. That's my opinion. And that's not just concerning me. I have seen her bring up people's how many live streams have you all watched where she's just scrolling through Facebook, showing children we don't even know who they are?
Right.
Yeah. What did she, if you don't mind sharing, what did she do specifically about your son? Did she bring him up on pictures?
So when me and my ex split up and she was talking to him, of course he was spoon feeding her whatever she wanted to hear, right?
Of course.
He was active addiction. He was mad, whatever. That's neither here nor there. He actually came back to the platform after he got sober, apologized, and said that he was, he had to take the platform down. Everything he said was untrue. He had relapsed and apologized. That doesn't matter. What she did is she said that my ex sent her text from my son, who at the time was 16 or 16 and a half, whatever, sent her, underage, sent my ex a text that said that I was a horrible mom, that I was active addiction, that I was on Xanax. I was really bad on Xanax, which used to be one of my drugs of choice. My son, my youngest son, has not seen me active addiction in his entire life. Okay. Ever since he's been born, he's almost 19 years old. Either he was in my mother's custody when I was active addiction by my own choice, which that's another thing that she tells people. She tells people that I lost my children to CPS. I told my story. That's not how it happened. But yeah, she said that she had these texts and all these things. And at the time, of course, I'm hiding for my life. I'm going to go to court. I'm going to court at the time. He's trying to find me. He's, I've had to break into my own house and find loaded guns, meth laying around. Really bad shit's happening in my life as this is all going on, right?
Wow.
And she's platforming him, right? And talking about my youngest son. And I've only shared a little bit of this, but at the time, mental health is very important, right?
Health in general, mental included, and why anyone would sit there and talk about someone's child, unless it's like Brandon Lawson, something like that, is horrible. And I am not saying anything bad about Ziggy's daughter, except for I feel really bad for her.
And when you have a family that's struggling with addiction, right? I'm in recovery, but it doesn't matter. It never goes away. But my brother lived there in the home with my mom at the time. He used to be active addiction. Everybody in that house, I'll just say that everybody in that house was struggling. And we had this psycho wanting to literally kill me. And, and Ziggy's platforming him and saying all these terrible things that my minor son is saying, and it wasn't true. And because it was all going on in court and my family was there to support me, they had to hear it too. So those are the things that affected me and my family most. I should not have to do. I should not. No. Here's another thing that happened. My mom lives next door to a sheriff deputy. And when this all started happening, we let him know, like, this is what's going on. You know how fucking embarrassing it was to go over to his house and say, hey, not only do you have to deal with the fact that the psycho might show up and kill me because we already asked for help, right? I need you to look out even more now because I have some psycho on the internet who's saying, here's her mom's house. She lives on blah, blah, blah road. And she's a terrible person who telling people that I was stealing my ex's dog and stealing drugs from him, all the things, whatever he was telling her, right? Doesn't matter. None of it was the truth.
Let's back up. We got to back up for a second. So,
Ryan's mind blown right now.
Wait a minute.
Well, there's two things I want to say. The first, and I know you don't like compliments. You're a very humble person and you don't like to pump yourself up, but I just want to ask this question because it's really important. How many years sober for you? How many years in recovery?
Well, I have been clean from my drug of choice for 14 years.
Wow.
14 years.
I have not put a needle in. Yeah, that was my main drug of choice. But I have been clean this go round almost 7 years.
Very good.
Completely from all illegal substance.
Huge accomplishment.
Yeah,
and that is
amazing. Speaks
highly of you and who you become as a person. That you can accomplish
Thank
that.
you. Thank you. And I have to say, it was not easy through that time.
I'm sure.
Yeah, everything was going on. And there were struggles that were happening that I'm not even comfortable sharing. When I said things about mental health, just leave that to your imagination, okay?
There's a lot.
Think about,
there's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot. I was just going to say, there's a lot we don't share about things we've been through years ago.
Right.
And we understand the stress of mental illness. And I can't imagine it was hard enough. It's hard enough going through that stress of trying to deal with recovering, getting the right medication, just getting healthy mentally. I can't imagine what it would have been like going through that and then having some insane lunatic throwing
Yeah,
all the
Ryan.
extra stuff at you.
Listen, I've been in the same treatment center for, God, it's been a while, in and out of the same treatment center for almost 20 years, but then actively with one doctor and one therapist for a very long time. And you have no idea what it was like to have to get on a Zoom call with my psychiatrist who treats me with my Suboxone and her be like, yeah, we are getting phone calls. Phone call after phone call after phone call. Because
no
Ziggy,
way.
of course, told where I go, telling people that I steal medication.
That is sick. That is sick. The psychiatrist's office, when 6 Up checked in, said we have been getting a lot of calls. Well, Ziggy knew where she goes because they both were talking about recovery, etc., when they were friends. Boy, I hate it when people, it's so 7th grade, you know, when you're no longer friends and then you blast it everywhere, something somebody told you in between friends. Calling a psychiatrist? I had a hard time believing about her calling that probation officer and over. And then I was like, oh, wow, she did. Why? What she's doing to Nana for life, I don't get it. And I don't like it at all.
Right? Not a good thing if you're, and just imagine what that could have done for somebody that was not strong in their addiction or in their recovery, right?
Yeah.
They could have fell right back into addiction.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank God, thank goodness, thank all of the gods that I had really good support system, not just online, not just at home, but online too.
Yeah.
The jerks, Tragedy Pimps Exposed. These people are my real life friends. They were there for me and they supported me. My family did, my brother, my children, more than anything. And I wouldn't be here today without that. That's why I'm not going to back down. You've done the worst that you can do. There's nothing left, and I'll be damned.
That's what I mean. So 6 Up, the extreme that she went, that's an extreme. When you're sending people after the doctor who's treating someone in recovery, you're bringing the abuser onto your channel, and you're that is such an extreme attack.
That's the latest stuff, though. There's way more before even that.
That's if someone so the reaction, that's the reaction to something you did that in her opinion was deserving of that level of attack. What in the world, in her head, if you just put yourself in her head, what was the moment, what was the thing that you did that was so bad that she had to spend so much effort and time to destroy your entire life?
Oh, it's because I told the truth. I told the truth.
How dare you?
About the case? Like you disagreed with her on a element of the case? Is that what it was?
I think really it's just that I mean, really, if you think about it and you go back and you think about how it all started, I really just sat there and reviewed her, Ryan. I never went off, even when she was filing. First thing she did was file a fake police report on me. I started my channel in almost the end of January of 2022. By the end of February, within a month, she had already said that I came up there, bashed her window out, brought my gangster boyfriend with me, right? And was using that in an attempt to put that in the protection order that she had already filed to get. By the end of March, she would already, said that she had this protection order. I was running from being served. And she used the next 2 years that she considered it active to harass me. She would call people, my father, my ex-landlord, ex-friends, and say that she was a private investigator trying to track me down to have me served. She's tried to pay people to have me served.
Why? This is a lot of time, energy, effort. Why? Calling that woman's dad, calling her landlord, Someone else I forgot. Why? Saying she's a private investigator? Wow.
Just street laid them, just randos. People she don't
So
even
real-
know off the internet.
Okay, so real talk. Just complete honesty here. Have you ever done anything similar to her? Have you ever gone in real life? Have you ever called anybody in your life?
Nope.
How in the world did you deserve that level of attack? I just don't
Yeah,
get
that's
it.
what I don't get.
But she will tell everybody that though. I mean, she
Oh,
she does that. You know what I mean? She tells everybody that I'm the one that stalks her. I'm what Ziggy considers stalking is me watching her on YouTube. You know that, right? If you watch her
Well, then
on
she's
YouTube,
stalking
no,
you,
I'm not joking. If you are watching her and you do not like her, you are a stalker, you are obsessed, and you are jealous. Period.
Well, so I guess she's stalking us then.
There you go. There you go, Jen.
Oh,
She
So
is. I mean,
yeah.
she is though.
You okay, I want to read this because Pearl always brings up good points. The extreme anger against Six Up is because even with an attempt at legal silencing, Ziggy has not been able to silence Six Up or push her offline. Ziggy can't deal with a no level of disagreement.
You know what?
What was
I think that Pearl just got it because you
Yeah.
got to remember in that protection order at the very, this is what it struck me as outrageous then, but even more now because I've had to file one myself in real life. Okay. When you get to the end of a protection order, when the victim is writing their statement out, the very end, usually the courts will say, what do you want to come out of this protection order? Right. Do you know what Ziggy wrote? For her never to say the name Ziggy again.
Wow.
What?
OMG. What do you want to come out of this protective order? For her to never say the name Ziggy again. For one, Ziggy's not her real name. All right? It is a YouTube name. All right? That'd be like me getting a protective order against Holly saying, I just don't want Holly ever saying my name again. They'd be like, no. Next. What a waste of time. Do people not have respect for our courts anymore? Well, that's kind of a loaded question.
So
Well,
what did I decide to do? Go live and say Ziggy. I mean, it's not going to work. You think she would have learned by now?
Oh my
Ryan.
God.
It's been 4 years.
We could go in any direction you want to. I was thinking of talking a little bit about and it's not just in the Summerwell's case. There's other creators that are like Ziggy. I don't know. I haven't heard of people getting attacked so viciously, but I also heard there were some attacks before our time. That we have some friends here locally who have named creators who are no longer on the platform who were just as bad, if not worse, than Ziggy. And I'm wondering, you cover this all the time. You go after people who exploit, who do turn on their subscribers if their subscribers don't agree. Do you think there's a standard personality type approach, a community type, or the way they are as a person that generates this kind of toxic environment where disagreement is very much frowned upon and even attacked by the community?
Oh yeah, I mean a lot of them are echo chambers. I mean, you'll hear that term a lot around here. They're very and I know a lot of people don't like this word either, like narcissistic, right? They don't like to give people labels like that. But I think that
Right.
it could boil down to right as easy as these people are narcissistic and they're in a position where they have people that maybe see them as an idol, see them as, for me, it's very foreign, but I do believe that that's the thing. Whole parasocial thing, right? They feel like they're closer to somebody, but it goes both ways. It goes both ways because now we have a creator that is the same thing. And we have very the specific creator we're talking about has very bad mental illness, that's untreated. And that's scary.
I've heard that too. I do watch you a lot more now than I used to. I watch you all the time.
Me too.
We love your stuff. Like every time it's on, we'll go in the living room, we'll put it on with like 6 ups on. It's the only way we can watch that content.
Have some popcorn,
Because it's hard. Because it's really hard. It's really hard to listen to hateful stuff being said very often about us. For some reason, listening to you cover it, a lot of times it's like you say the things we're thinking.
Right. It's nice. It's nice to see that, like, I'm not the only one who's feeling that way.
Yeah, like we're not crazy.
Because I tend to be quite sensitive, and having your commentary really helps.
Well, I get that a lot. Like a lot of my subscribers, I mean, guys, I just hit 6K. The majority of the coverage that I cover is this.
Right.
And you got to think about that. And you look in my live chat when you guys are in there, right?
Exactly what I said earlier. Okay? Thank you, Whispering Willows. They are distractions from what is important, Summer. Now, 6 Up doesn't talk about Summer. She's a reaction channel. Okay? And mainly her reactions are Ziggy. She has talked about other people, but Ryan has made that clear a million times that he is here to talk about true crime. He didn't want to be drug into this. Ziggy has done nothing but be involved on YouTube. I'm not saying what she does in her real life with the Summer Wells case. So now you're doing this because you don't like how someone talks about you? Well, what's more important? Let me ask you all this. Do you want me to put a poll up? I can. What is more important? Summer Wells or Ziggy's fifis? Her feelings? I think we can all vote the same way. I really do. Matter of fact, I'm really curious about this. I'm going to put a poll up. Get ready. It's about poll time. We love the polls. We love the polls. Oh, gotta find my own channel. So goodness, this thing is slow today. I'm sorry.
Private things like their addresses, packages she had sent them, using her own business to dox out people that used to support her and pay her bills. So if you see that, take note. You see a creator, and I don't care what excuse.
The only one that I would call a victim in this whole Sugate, #Sugate, put it in, #Sugate, is Nana. Nana has done nothing but good. She's doing God's work out there. She really is. I can't really say Ryan's a victim because he has said some things about Ziggy, and it's her right to react. It's crazy to sue. Six Up is really not a victim, and she's never claimed to be. She knows how this goes down. She knows this woman, okay? Because in the Sugate saga, she has said a lot of stuff about Ziggy. Point blank. Point blank. She has said a lot of stuff about Ziggy. Ziggy can react when someone says something about her. So Ziggy is in here. Hey, Ziggy, the link is posted. I'd love for you to come up and tell us what's going on.
Use they use, what they say to you, no matter what it is, just remember that it can be you. If she even thinks, or anybody, any creator even thinks that you're doing something that is against them, they can use that personal information that you gave them against you. If they're doing it in front of your face to somebody else, they will absolutely do it to you.
Yep.
Do not think you're immune.
That's a really good
scary
point.
part. And I want to say that to Ryan. Ryan, you said, why do these people stay? Sometimes they stay because they're scared.
They're scared.
I haven't thought of it that way.
That's a really good point. I mean, that is a really good pattern to look for if you are landing on a channel and they're going after someone else viciously and talking about their family and talking about their job or their domestic violence situation. That should be a huge red flag. If they're willing to do that to anybody, they're going to do it to you. If you simply disagree, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah, I mean, and I've seen a lot of them starting out. Was that one of the things I paid attention to was how she treated other people, not just in online, but in her real life. You know what I mean? She didn't have any people around her. And I noticed that. Like, why is that? I know, look, I have people that are in my family I choose not to be around as well for whatever reason. But typically, you don't come across somebody that has, 3 or 4 siblings and a mom and dad that are alive that you never speak to them. You're never around them. You know what I mean? And that stood out to me. That's something to pay attention to. People who want to act like they're noble members of society, but they never have any evidence of it. It's all mouthpiece and mouth work.
You and Tragedy Pimp Exposed, I know there are other channels, but the two of you especially collaborate together on talking about channels that do this. And I'll tell you, when we first started, Tragedy Pimp Exposed posted a comment on one of our videos going, hey, I have some critical advice for you, and
I gotta up my game, okay? Because call me greedy, but I have noticed that when someone takes a hankering to dragging me, it drags traffic this way. So I wish they would find something on me and have a heyday. It'll be a boring show, but I can come on and make it juicy. I can help them.
On how you could do this differently, because I think it could be exploiting a child. I was offended. I was so mad. Tragedy Pimps Exposed. I'm sorry. I was so mad originally, and now that I'm seeing truly people that truly are intentionally exploiting, not only accidentally, but intentionally using these cases to generate cash apps, donations, whatever they want to call it. They'll deny it, but some form of compensation. It may not even be money. It may be.
Okay, here's the poll. What is more important? Keeping Summer's name out, 94%. Suing because feelings are hurt, 4%. Okay. Then 2% have another opinion, but I didn't see it, so I can't say what it is. Whoa. Sect No One. Yeah, I'm going to get into a fake fight with Sect No One And I'm going to say all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm going to be like, did you know she's in a motorcycle club, but she's only there to look at the people in assless chaps? And, you know, she licks places you shouldn't be licking. Okay, we can start doing something like that. They'll have a field day. It'll be great. It'll be great.
Donations, maybe real things.
Mhm.
Are there things that and Tragedy Pimps Exposed is in the chat. I want to say I appreciate what you do now. I understand what you do too. I think it's important, and I want to know if a creator is coming on this platform now, fresh, never did missing persons cases, and they want to cover these cases. They want to cover these important missing persons cases, and they want to do it in a way that's respectful and doesn't exploit these. Is it the extreme of you just simply can't monetize? Is it you need to treat the families a certain way? Like, what do you guys look for when you analyze a channel? Like, are they exploiting a missing persons case? What are the things that you look for?
Well, I will say that when I first started, I was not as did not have the same viewpoint that I have now. I've gotten a little bit more strict when it comes to missing children that are open cases. Let me just say that, like Summer, just because they are just because of what I've seen happen to this baby specifically on here on YouTube. When I first came on here, I wasn't like, oh no, nobody should even have live chats going on and shouldn't be monetized because they're doing work too and whatever. And I had a really good conversation with Tragedy Pimps Exposed, and the way she broke it down for me, my perception changed for me. Now I do feel like that when you bring in the live chat and you have a missing child that's got no information, we don't have anything, right? It's completely open, hasn't been found yet, and you're live streaming and you're monetizing off of open-ended questions that can go on and on forever, right? Everybody's in the chat saying she could have been this, she could have been that, and all these things are happening. That's when we have that. I feel grossed out. Because I do. And any kind of like when people are talking about these children, something happening like being trafficked or their families abusing them, their parents unaliving them. I say unaliving, I say the actual word on my channel. I'm being respectful to yours, but I'm just saying, like, when people say such things and then the channel creator doesn't delete them messages and they're feeding into that and they're all, you know what I mean? That's exploitation. You're feeding in your.
Woo. In my defense, I have missed some after show comments, or I was reading in bed and didn't read them correctly and didn't delete them. And I've had people screenshot them to me going, why did you like that? And I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What, did I become a zombie for a minute?
You're feeding into rumors. Let's stick to what we know, right? Is it okay? Do we all sit here and hypothesize and talk about things?
Yeah,
of course. We all want her to come home. But the thing is, it's another thing that I've come to is you got to understand the intention, and that's what happened with you guys. A lot of people probably say to me, 6 ups over on Ryan Vine's Truth channel. What the fuck, right? Well, the thing is I got a chance to interact with Ryan at one point when I was at Nana's house, get a little bit more of an understanding. I was actually going to stay behind one day when he was doing a search and I had to leave. And I drove home that day thinking about you guys and thinking about what you guys do and thinking about all the things. And then I actually got to meet Jen and we sat down and we had a little conversation. Yeah, that was good times. And but I mean, it wasn't, I just have to say that once you know the intentions, that makes something different as well. Also, you're approachable. I've been able to talk to you guys. Even when we had different viewpoints and I was like, fuck you. And you were like, fuck you. we could still have a conversation like adults and work through it. And look at us now. That's what it's about. What is
Nana said, my wrench, I understand, but honestly, she's not worth my money and time. For some reason, I think by now she's figured out that suing Nana's a really bad look. A really bad look. Nana said, Ziggy has nothing, so why bother? Well, she keeps saying 6 up is a transient. Why would you sue a transient? That's crazy. Why would you? And she's not. Look at her. She clearly talks about what she does for a living.
protect your personal information? That's what I'm talking about. Stuff like this. Because she had outed the fact that he was in prison and all that was happening. I was telling everybody when he was getting out. So he got out. He got home. I think it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. He had to take a Greyhound. Neither one of us had a license at this point, by the way. I lived in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay.
He was in a prison in Northern Ohio, and he got out of prison, served his time, came back home, got there at like 4 o'clock in the morning, had to take a Greyhound, then a city bus. And of course, then we spend our time together, order some pizza, pass out. I wake up and YouTube's on nuts. Ziggy said you broke her window to her car. I'm like, what? And your gangster boyfriend. I'm like, okay,
Oh my gosh.
here we go. And that's exactly what happened. And she put in a police report to her local police department to absolutely put my name on the police report, put my birth date, said that me and my gangster.
Thank you, Pamela. Those that sue don't go to YouTube to announce it. That's pretty crazy. I mean, I've got my own fight going on with Holly to get that big case of plastic fingernails. So, you know, I got a lot of irons in the fire. I said that too. I mean, you have a show that talks about summer wells. Obviously, you talk about other things. Your drug test, putting on your fingernails, stuff like that. But it was all built on summer. So just sue them if you feel you need to. And maybe with the members live or something, talk about it.
Her boyfriend drove from Cincinnati, Ohio, and she thinks it was us, right? Thinks it was me. But then she told the police that she didn't want the police to give me the record. So as soon as after this all happened and it was all said and done, I requested the police report. I called the Shelbyville Police Department and I said, I want this report with my name on it. And they gave it to me. And I read it on a live stream. And guess what she did?
Right.
She privacy struck me. Swear, for showing a police report that she filed on me.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Curious Country Girl, for explaining that. I assumed you were a follower of hers.
No, absolutely not. Look, I would never do such a thing. I don't have a violent past. I have done violent things in my past, but I don't have like a violent past. If I was active addiction or something, maybe you could consider that might happen with me, but it probably wouldn't be the window that was busted out. It would probably be more like her mug. You know what I mean? Like
I assumed that was the story because most accusations like that are fabricated, and so I knew that was the case.
Well, the thing is that the one thing that everybody needs to know, she was moving boxes out of her storage unit at the time. Ziggy was still claiming to be a resale person, and her and her partner had broken up, and so she was in her own.
Hold the phone. Mr. and Mrs. Hill don't have a car? Yeah, we know she drove to Tennessee. She drove down there several times. Drove down there to marry Fred. And that's what that whole 7K was about. That was taken from that woman to get a car. Where is it? Did she sell it? Trust me, if it just needed a radiator, she would have done a whole live about it and somebody would have helped her. Where's her car? Where is her car? Somebody knows.
Place, and he was no longer paying for her storage, so she had to go get all of them things out of storage the same day. Isn't it ironic that the day she was moving all these big boxes and they were in the back of her car was the day that the window got bashed out? Also, I want to pause and say that yeah, she had some mods around her at the time. One of them was Pearl de Beer. One of them was Deets on the Streets. And Soup, Simpson has the Soup. They were all mods. They were on a voice chat. And she straight up said to them that it was the neighbor boy that did it. It only changed to me a day or two after because she knew that she could put that in the police report to file with a protection order. As soon as it happened, I knew what she was doing. She's trying to get, because you can't just go file a protection order because somebody said on YouTube they don't like you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what she came up with.
Interesting.
And just imagine going that far to accuse somebody of a crime. Of a crime.
Do you think, because I do, and I understand it, that the intense aggravation from 6 Up is things like, well, I mean, the accusations saying that there's things she did she didn't do, you know, that's something we can all get over depending on what it is. But when you get into someone's life to the point you're calling landlords, their daddy, and their psychiatrist's office, see, that's when it's someone that you're just not going to get out of your head. Forget it. Not going to happen.
Well,
So
I don't know. I don't get
the
it.
lesson to learn from this whole thing, lesson or lessons, we talked about if you are a true crime creator. I think normal people, I think people who have good hearts understand the right way to cover these. It can be like Chasing said earlier. Sometimes she even makes a mistake. You know what I mean? We
Right.
try not to.
Everyone.
2-year-old man. And he told me the best thing that you can do, Jennifer, is keep doing what you're doing on your channel and expose her, because the defamation slander case is going to drag on and on and on and on.
Right.
You're going to pay all this money and she doesn't have anything. She doesn't
Right.
own anything. What are you going to get out of it? Right. The best thing you.
Well, she doesn't have a true crime channel. She has a reaction channel. And Ziggy gives her content. She does. And calling her psychiatrist, saying what she said about her child. Yeah, that's gonna rent space in your head for a long time. A long time.
Can do is continue to do what you're doing. And that's what I've done. And I'm going to keep doing it.
That is the secret. 6 Up, that is what heals me when I know someone, when I hear things people are saying about me, and then Friday comes along. Tomorrow is going to be Saturday, which I love the weekend. I get in the Jeep. It's not the Jeep anymore. Now it's a different vehicle, but I head out into the mountains. I head out anywhere we're going to be searching and doing what you do and focusing on your content, creating actual content, not content about just other people, covering cases, you know, things like that. Doing what you are passionate about, and it may be covering other channels in your case, which is fine, but it's what you're passionate about. It's what you believe in, and making. Bill even told Nana that I don't know why, but he doesn't even want to talk to me. So we're opposite of best friends. Like, he wouldn't even talk to me anymore. So I don't, you know.
You haven't talked to him yet.
I haven't even had a chance to talk to the guy. I think it's just because we had mentioned him when Nana was on the channel. She was talking about him. I don't know.
And I do think that, look, if people don't know, people that don't know Nana has one of the biggest hearts in the world. If you don't know that, now you know. She does. And she believes in people. She believes in second, third, fourth, 12th chances. If she didn't, she definitely wouldn't be friends with a person like me. So I actually like that about her. I like that, you know, she has met him, and she said that he was nice to her, and that's all she said. She never said, me and Bill Shipley are best friends and we hang out every day
Yeah.
Right.
and we skip around together while we're locked arms. It never happened.
And I don't think for a second Bill Shipley is harassing the Zigster. I just don't. But I know I heard from a little birdie. It will come out soon. I'm not going to say what channel. It won't be mine. It won't be mine. I mean, not going to be my interview. That Fred the newlywed and the Zigster have been calling a lot of people out on Beach Creek. Like literally calling them. I don't know if it's on Facebook or Fred has their number, so you can't quote me on that part. And just kind of having some casual chit chat, and then it comes out on her channel, and they are furious because they're like, "That is not what I said. That is not what I said." At this point, it's like blame anyone except for Fred. Blame anyone except for Fred. And oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Nana. It's amazing how many people try to silence what is really going on. What is really going on is there is a missing little girl, and there are two people. You can figure out who they are. I can say right now, they aren't Ryan. They aren't Six Up. And I'll throw in a third, his wife. So what is up with this? All of your content was taken down. All of it. All of it. All of it. What are you scared of? You rocking in your rocking chair is not going to get you in trouble with YouTube. No, sorry, Bob. No, sorry, Bob. So what exactly did you say that you thought would get you in trouble or get you in trouble when, or would help them when they countersue you? That is nuts. But no, Six Up is right when she said Nana for life. I mean, she does. She has a heart of gold. She has a heart of gold. And like C.M. Wilkins said, we're coming up on 5 years of this little girl missing. When will this case be solved? I don't know. I don't know. But I know for a fact it is very active and open just because they have said it. And I think that's the one thing, as stupid as they are there in Hawkins County, they want done. The only reason I think Don and Candace weren't prosecuted for the SA is because it would be a bad look for old Lawson to give that to the DA and say, this is what they did. And they would have to go through all of it because we know about the Brandon Lawson situation. So I hope when the new sheriff comes in, he gets a hold of some files that Sheriff Corruption had to sit on for obvious reasons. And he goes ahead and cleans that up. Cleans it up. Well, you guys, it is so good to be back, and it's a beautiful day today. We had a lot of rain, so I won't be able to do any farming. I'm way behind on my farming with all the storms we've had, tornadoes, I mean, you name it. And so I cannot wait to start my farming. No one has been cleared, but I mean, Pruitt said to Andy, you're not relevant to this investigation. Okay? He's not going to say that about Dawn. He's not going to say that about Candace. He's not going to say that about Grandis. And he's not going to say that about Fred. I believe we were live one day when I called the TBI and they said, yeah, Fred is definitely someone they're looking into. I don't remember if they so much said he's our suspect. That'd be a totally different label, okay? He's definitely someone we're looking at. They didn't say, no, he's not relative to this case. Like, you're wasting your time. Find something else to talk about on your channel. You know what I mean? So I really appreciate guys being here, and let's look at all the love. Look at my buddy Dallas. We have been friends a long time. Jananka, blessing the channel. Girl, thank you so much. Jean, thank you, baby. Thank you. Oh, that's me. Carrie, member for 8 months. Wow. So, I mean, this kills me. Chocolate Pickle, 20 months. Tina, 4 months. What great people. What great friends you are. All right. I don't know if I'm going to have a show this afternoon, but I know I'm working on a big one for tomorrow morning. It's in the Lily and Jack case. And if you don't follow it, I understand. But you might want to look at this. I'm telling you, Daniel and Malaya are the Dawn and Candace of Canada. They are. Thank you for being my friend for 27 months. Thank you. Poppy, thank you for being my friend for 16 months. Okay, you guys have a great rest of your day. See ya mañana.